Welcome to the Slice of Anime podcast. This is the weekly podcast where we go over anime stuff that happened this week, as well as some other things. Just kind of talk for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour and a half, and pretty much whatever we would like to talk about. If you'd like to see more of these, don't forget to like and subscribe. I also do 3 weekly videos in addition to this, so stay tuned for that if you did enjoy this. First off, as always, we're going to start off with the news segment. So, in the news this week, we did get the start of the Suicide Squad Isekai series. This is a series that I am not very confident in. Not that I'm not confident in the studio behind it. I'm not confident in DC and Warner Brothers stepping away and letting them do what they want to do. I'm afraid they're going to say, we want you to do this, we want you to do this, marketing, whatever, how much can we make merchandise off this stuff? And I think that's what's going to end up driving this series more than anything. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I feel like that's the case. And we did get an ED for it, and I'm kind of mixed on that as well. But I don't know. This one it's definitely one that we're going to watch as the series goes on. I'm not watching it currently. I'm going to watch it at the end, but I mean, follow its developments, because I feel like this could be either something really good, really bad, or completely forgettable that no one will remember. And I'm kind of leaning that it's going to be something no one remembers, especially because it's released on HBO Max. Spoiler alert, no one has HBO Max that watches anime. Very few people do. All that's on there is the Studio Ghibli films. And guess what? I've got them on Blu-ray. I'm going to watch them on Blu-ray. I'm not going to watch them on HBO Max, because why would I do that? It's so expensive to get that, or Max now, I guess is what it's called. But I don't know. I don't really have a lot of faith in that one. But some stuff that I do have faith in is I'm Getting Married to the Girl I Hate in My Class is getting an anime adaptation from Aniplex. That was announced this week. It should be coming next year sometimes. I don't know a whole lot about this series, but I have heard good things about the few, telling about the series, about what it's about. It sounds pretty interesting, so I'm curious to see what happens there. But we also did get 2 other announcements that I found quite interesting. Now, I'm not going to go over every announcement every week, but I'm going to go over the ones that I find interesting. There was 2 of them this week that I liked. One of them was Turkey, a bowling anime that we're going to get next year. And then an announcement of Bad Girl, which I have no idea what it's about, but it has 4 girls that I assume are going to be like the bad girls of the school or whatever. And that might be really interesting. I like series like that, so we'll check both of them out when they come out next year. So, but that'll move on into our topic of the week, where we're going to go over everything that is coming out in summer of 2024. So let's get right on into that starting now. So let's get right on into that. So summer of 2024 is kind of stacked, but it's stacked in a different way. With spring, we had a lot of sequels. With this season, we don't have a lot of sequels, pretty much none. But there is quite a bit that I'd like to check out, and a few of them that I hope that you will check out as well. And I'm going to start with a few of them that I think will be okay, and then we'll get into ones that I'm really excited about at the end. I'm actually going to start with Oshinoko. Oshinoko Season 2 is the only sequel that I have mentioned on here, and I think it could be really good, or I think it could be very forgettable. Unfortunately, I think Oshinoko is so front-loaded on storylines. Everybody knows about the eye stuff, and unfortunately, other than the incest stuff that comes up later, there's not a whole lot more people talk about, and that's unfortunate, because there is some good storylines. And I'm afraid a lot of people won't pick up Season 2, mostly because of the incest stuff, because they'll hear rumors, they won't want to, they haven't read it. That's just the point. They don't read the series, but they read headlines on X or Twitter, and they're like, I'm not reading that. That's I'm not fooling with that. When in reality, it's not anything to do with anything they're thinking about, and it's actually good storytelling. But they don't care, and they're not going to watch Season 2 for that. Also, I don't think some people finished season one. I think they watched the beginning of it, they got bored, and they stopped, unfortunately, because I think season one was very good. So I don't think some. I think some of those people will not watch season two. So I think season two will be a big tell as to whether or not we get future installments of this. I think we will. I think it'll get enough hype around it to warrant a season three, but only time will tell. This one is a very big mystery to me as into how it performs this season. The next one here is also Oceanoko season 2 starts on July the 3rd. Um, the next one here is Ayala sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. This is a series that is basically just it's a romantic comedy, I believe it is. It starts July 3rd. I'm very excited for it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I know that it's been something that has been talked about for quite a while leading up to it, so I am looking forward to it, and it's something that I'm going to check out. But like I said, this is not one of my most hyped up ones. It's just one that I'm going to watch because so many people have told me to watch it, pretty much. Now, the next one here is one that I am pretty excited about because I did start the light novel. I have not gotten very far, but I did start it, and that is Days with My Stepsister. So this is if you did not like whenever Oshinoko had incest in it, you're not going to like this, because Days with My Stepsister is whenever a guy and a girl become step siblings, and now they are having to live together. And so this one is going to be pretty interesting to me because a lot of these series end up being pretty good, but they are mostly slept on, and I think this might be a very interesting series. This one starts on July 4th, so we will see how this goes. I have a lot of faith in this one. This one is one that I think could be really good if done right. Obviously, we got one similar in kind of premise with My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex. That came out 2 years ago, and that was okay. I think it was one of the weaker adaptations from that studio. There's the same studio that did The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten and Hegi Hero. I think Hegi Hero was the best of them, and I think My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex is the weakest of them. So we will see how this does. Not same studio, this is a different studio, but I believe it's the same. I believe it's a different studio. Don't know for sure, but I know that this one is one that I'm looking forward to. So we'll see how this one goes throughout the rest of summer. The next one here is actually one that will go for 2 cores. It is 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. This is a series that has been talked about for a long, long time. It has been known to be coming for a long time. It's since last year, early in last year, and it is finally coming out. I don't know a whole lot about this. I actually have a few of the manga of it, but I've not read it because I was just like, well, whenever this series, however far it gets into its season, obviously I'll want to continue reading it. But then it was announced that it's going to be 24 episodes instead of just 12. So I don't know how far it would get into the series. I would assume pretty far, but we'll see. I am looking forward to this one. This is one that I hope to kind of keep up with. There's a lot of series, like, I'll have like tiers with my series. There's the ones that I watch every single week. As soon as it comes out, I'll watch it. That is like the Train to the End of the World, Demon Slayer. What's another one that I did? I don't remember. There was another one that I did that I was really excited about, but those are the ones that like I watched every episode as they aired. And then there's the ones that I will watch like 3 episodes, wait a few weeks, 3 episodes, wait a few weeks, 3 episodes. That was like Sound Euphonium, Laid Back Camp. Still got to finish them too. And then there's the ones that I am like, I will watch them at the end of the season if I have time. That was the Studio Apartment Studio Apartment Good Lighting Angel Included. That was last season. That's what I did with that. So 2.5 Dimensional Seduction is one that I intend to watch every single week. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's pretty good. The artist or the art wise, it looks pretty good. So I'm looking forward to it. That begins on July the 5th. The next one here is Gigi Harem. Now this starts on July 4th, and I don't know a whole lot about this. All I know is from the description is that seems like a girl creates a harem for another boy, and I get the feeling this will end up just being they'll end up falling in love with each other. Now I don't know if that's the case, but it seems like that will be the case. Like I said, don't know a whole lot about this one. It's just one that caught my attention, so I wrote it down whenever I saw it. So it begins on July the 4th. I don't actually know where this one's airing because there's not a sub description for it yet. There was some anime from last season that's still not been dubbed or subbed officially and been officially released, so we'll hope that that's not the case for some of these. The next one is one that is currently out, actually, and that is My Wife Has No Emotion. This is a series that I'm actually looking forward to quite a bit. I have not started it yet. I want to finish everything from spring and then get into the summer. But I do have a volume 1. I think I just have volume 1. But I liked it a lot. And so I'm looking forward to actually getting into this and seeing how it is done in anime form. Like I said, I've not watched any of the trailers or anything for this, but I would assume it's done pretty well. I don't see how they could really mess this one up. It's fairly simple. I don't think it'll be anything mind blowing. I think it'll be one that a lot of people forget about, one that a lot of people don't check out, unfortunately, but one that some people will think, hey, that was pretty good, and I enjoyed my time. It's kind of what I'm hoping for this one. But if you have read the manga or whatever, you probably will enjoy this. So check that out if you're interested. The next one here is, and by the way, that one is currently airing, so you can go ahead and watch that if you're interested. The next one here is Love is Indivisible by Twins. This seems like a quintessential quintuplets if it was just two twins. So I don't know a lot about it. Like I said, I write these down whenever I see them coming up, and then this was the list that I had. This one begins on July 10th, so we have about a week and a half until this one actually comes out. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get some more information on it by then. We have not really got anything on it yet. I don't even know this one has been announced to be airing anywhere yet, so we'll see. Another one that has not really had any talk about it other than the one time I saw someone mention that it was coming out, and that is Atari, My Dear Memories, My Dear Moments, I'm sorry. I don't know a lot about this one at all. I read the description for it, and it is like the world's flooded, and so now like they have to adapt with that. It is based off a light novel, or not a light novel, a visual novel. So I'm looking forward to this one because I think it could be one of these like hidden gems. So we're going to check that one out. I don't know a lot about it. It begins on July 13th. And like I said, I don't have any idea if this has been like licensed out to where it can be distributed by Crunchyroll, High Dive, whatever. I don't know. No word on that yet that I've seen. All right, so the next 4 here are ones that I'm really looking forward to, and either will watch every week or do those like watch 3 of them, watch 3 of them. I'll do that for sure. So you'll get my opinion on these 100%. The first one of them is Too Many Losing Heroines. I am really excited about this one. The character designs look fantastic. This is a series about a bunch of girls that pretty much are the girls in a harem series that lose, and this is their story. I think that is the like most interesting concept that you could do. I don't know why anybody's never done this really, but this is such an interesting concept. I adore this idea. Will it be any good? We don't know. We'll find out as the series comes out and starts airing. But from everything I've seen, it looks really good. I don't think this could be like anime of the year. You know, maybe it will, but I don't think it will. I think it'll just be like top 10. But I have a lot of hope that it can be top 10. So we're going to see. We're going to see. I think it'll be good though. The next one here is Nara Hananara. So this is a cheerleading anime, and this is a similar one to the other one, as in I think it could be a hidden gem, but for different reasons. I don't really know a lot about this one other than the few visuals I have seen, but it does strike me as something that could be like have some good moments. Now, it could also be just a hey, this was a fun series, and that's fine. I have no issue whenever we have series like that, but I am hoping for a little bit more out of this one, and I think we can get a little bit more. Now, the next two, if I had to pick series that I think out of this entire list could be the anime of the year, it's these two. And the first one of them is Senpai is an Oto Kono Ko. I hope I said that right. Pretty much, this one is and I've read a lot of this manga, and it's about a boy who is a cross dresser, or he is wanting to be a girl, and we also have a young girl who is pretty much in love with him, but then we also get a lot from his friend. This is an interesting trio here. I think they are a phenomenally well written cast that I am interested to see how the anime adaptation is done. If it is done well, if we get a lot of good visuals, if we get a lot of good extra bits, I think this could be anime of the year. Now, I don't know how far they'll go either. If they go decently far, I think they can really get some interesting concepts, some interesting storylines. If they don't and they end kind of early and they make it kind of slow, I'm worried it could move a little slow. But hopefully not. Hopefully it does pretty good. I am really confident in this one. It's airing in July 4th, so it's coming up very soon. So look forward to that. By the way, the cheerleading anime is airing on July 7th, so look forward to that. Now, the final one is one you have probably seen. Probably everyone has seen it at this point, and that is my dear friend No Kotan. This one is one that everybody has been talking about. It's the Deer anime. This anime came out of pretty much nowhere, and everybody's talking about it. Everybody's like, this is the best thing we've ever seen. And you know what? I think they're on to something. I am really looking forward to this because I am getting like those classic slice of life, just fun, like turn your brain off, but like turn your brain off as in like you're still watching, but you're in so absorbed into this world, you can turn your brain off from all the outside stuff. I love anime that's able to do that, and I think this one could do that. So high hopes for this one. Could it disappoint me? Absolutely. But I don't think it will. Even the people behind it, they're wanting to put it on as many streaming services as they can because they want as many people to see it as they can. They are really proud of this, it seems. I love when studios are proud of their work. They want people to watch it because, not because they want money, obviously they want money, but not because of that. They just want you to watch this anime. They want you to enjoy it with them. Love that. I commend them for that. I'm going to watch this because I want to support this series. I want to hope that it does amazing work. We'll see if it does, but I have high hopes and I think it will be very good. That begins on July 7th. Um, so that is all of them that I have here. Real quick, I'm going to give my top five that I think are going to be the top five at the end of the summer. And we will come back and check this out if I was right, if I was wrong, if there was some that I didn't expect, maybe some that I didn't even write down. And then we'll come back and we'll check that out and see how it compares. So in number one, I'm going to start with number one, work my way down to number five. Number one, I'm going to put Senpai is an Otoko. Otoko no Ko. That's hard to say. I think that's going to be number one. I'm very confident in it. Now, could I be disappointed? Absolutely. But I am very confident in it. Number two, I'm going to put my dear friend No Ko Tan. I have a lot of confidence in that one too. I'm going to put that one at number two. Number three is No More Losing Heroines. I think it will be very good as well. These are the three that I'm like most confident in. I think these will be the top three of the summer. So coming back, I hope I'm right. Number four, I'm going to put My Days with My Stepsister. I am very confident in this one as well. If done right, I think it can be very good. If done wrong, I think it can be very forgettable, and a lot of people will just push it aside and don't even fool with it. Hopefully, I'm wrong on that, but we will see. And finally, in number 5, I'm going to put a different one here, and I'm going to put Love is Indivisible by Twins. I don't know a whole lot about this one, but the visuals look really good, and I think it could be interesting. So we're going to put that at number 5. So that is my top 5 that I am expecting to be the most interesting of the summer. Like I said, we'll come back at the end of the summer and going into fall, and we'll check that out and see if I was right. So we'll see. Anyway, that will do it for the news topic of the week. Now we're going to move on into our Q&A section. This is a Q&A section where you can ask me a question down below in the comments, or I will post a Twitter post, and you can comment down below that, and then we will answer that next week. So this time I actually didn't put a post on Twitter because I got 2 questions during the week that I really, really liked, and I want to talk about them. So we've got 2 questions that are very similar to one another, but different, kind of. So the first one here is Tipo64. This is both, these users are from X. And he said, or they said, I don't know their gender, but they said, if I could make my own anime, what would it be like? So I've actually thought a few different ideas of this because I like making stories. I like coming up with stories and everything. So this is a few different ideas that I have had. The first of which is an anime that I think would be really interesting, or a story that I think would be really interesting, about if you had a mother and a girl, or a girl, her mother, and her daughter. And basically the storyline is that the mother, or the main character, ages like 10 times as slowly as everyone else. So everyone else will live 100-year lifespan. She'll live 1,000 years. Now, this is something that I thought of before I watched Freerun, and then Freerun pretty much took this idea and did it a lot better than I thought of. Even though it's a fantasy aspect, I want mine to be real life. Pretty much, the storyline would be is that the mother of her, she never really meets her mother because her mother would die far before she was old enough to really realize what was going on. And then after a few years, or after 100 years or so, she ends up having a daughter, and then her daughter does not have that same ability that she does. She will die very much a lot sooner before her mother, and the mother has to deal with this and has to overcome losing a daughter and everything. And I think this would be really interesting. Not so much as like a, hey, it's interesting that she has seen so much of the world. That's also like a backstand, that's a side plot. The main plot is pretty much how it's a fantasy way of explaining how a parent deals with the loss of their child. I think that would be really interesting. Obviously, I can't make anime, but I think it'd be really cool if anyone was like, "Hey, you want to give us a plot to an anime?" That would be my plot. So, anyway, that's my idea. Now, the next question here is from Baron Samed 0017. And their question was, if you could create your own harem, what would it be like? Now, I like this. I like harems. Harems are my favorite type of anime. So, obviously, you need your main heroine. And so, there's 2 ways of doing this. You can do the quintessential quintuplets route, where you don't give any hints as to who the main, winner will be early in the series. As the series goes on, you give hints, but early on, you don't know. Or you can do like the runner girlfriend route, which pretty much from the get go we know Chizuru is the winner. So I could do either way, but I'm going to give you 4 character or archetypes that I think would be interesting. So first off, you have your obvious your well endowed girl, and I think this is just think of any of the quintuplets pretty much. The quintuplet body type. That's the fun one. Very kind of just serious. I think the serious type, that fits that type of body style better. Moving on to the next one, you just have not a lolly, but a petite girl that is not not a Cinderella, but close. Give her Ruka's personality, but in a petite form. I think that would be really interesting. And for like a third one, oh, you can do like the athletic type because I really like the athletic type, like the Yotsuba, or I think even Chizuru kind of fits this because Chizuru is more athletic than people want to give her credit for. But I like that athletic type. I like the type like you can put scenes where they're wearing sports bras and everything. I'm never gonna turn that down. So yeah, those would be my three. I think three is the perfect harem amount. Like a couple of cuckoos does it perfectly. Now I think they introduced a fourth girl eventually, but I think three is perfect. Any more than that, you're gonna have a hard time giving all of them attention. Quintuplets does it great, but other series don't. So I think three is that perfect range there. But those are the only questions that I really wanted to answer this week. If you have a question, let me know. These were kind of fun questions, but if you have questions about something in my collection, why I liked this anime, why I didn't like this anime, let me know down below and I will answer them next week or in a follow-up week. I write down my favorites, so there is a few that I have written down, and if I don't get any more, then I will go back to those. So even if you have answered once before, ask a new question. Don't do the same question over and over again. Ask new questions every week. That will give you a better chance of getting on here if you'd like to. And congratulations to the few here. You got to be seen. You got to be shouted out, and all of 100 people will probably watch this. But thank you to those 100 people. You guys are great. Um, so anyway, that will do it for our Q&A section. Let's move on to where I highlight an anime for this week. So this week I'm going to highlight pretty much a studio actually, and that is Studio Bind. And pretty much what I'm going to highlight as the anime is Onimai. So Onimai is a series that I really, really enjoyed. It's kind of a goofy series to where the big brother gets turned into the little sister. It's very unconventional, but it is very fun. So the thing with Studio Bind is they have seemingly stuck to this plan of doing one anime a year, which is respectable. Last year they did Onimai. This year they are doing Mushoku Tensei Season 2. And then next year they actually have another anime they've already announced, and that is Flower and Asura. I don't know a whole lot about that one, but it is something that is coming out next year. I would assume after that in 2026 we will get Mushoku Tensei Season 3, and then they'll continue doing that every other year. I hope someday, and maybe next year they can do that. If they do like Flower and Asura in the winter, they could do like Onimai in the fall, or summer even. So I would love an Onimai season 2. They kind of set it up to where if they could do a season 2, they can. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope so, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. But I really want to commend this studio because they do a very good job. Even if you don't like Mushoku Tensei, if you don't like Onimai, I think their animation is pretty good. Obviously, yes, they do have some mess ups, and they've got a few of them, but I think overall they do a really good job, and I think it's an underrated studio. Yeah, you could say, well, this studio does better, this studio does this better. Yeah, but whenever you're talking about a smaller studio like this that doesn't do 200 anime, under their belt, they have about 10. So I think that's commendable. And I think we should respect that more and be more proud of them. Lift them up for doing some really well done animation for a smaller studio. I commend them for that. I think you guys are doing great. And I cannot wait to see what they make next. I am very happy to be a fan of theirs. Still got to finish Mushoku Tensei Season 2, though. So that will be it for that segment. Let's move on to the off-topic segment. This is a segment where I can talk about pretty much whatever I would like. And last week we talked about Star Wars The Acolyte. So The Acolyte, I predicted that the main villain, and by the way, this is spoilers warning for The Acolyte. I'm going to spoil the first 5 episodes, everything up to that. I obviously don't know anything about episodes 6, 7, and 8, so don't worry about that. I am not going to talk about that or whatever, but I am going to talk about the first 5 episodes and kind of go over pretty much episode 5 here. So in episode 5, we got the reveal of the big bad, and And I'm going to be honest, I was not that hyped about this show. It had disappointed me a little bit. I think episode 5 was great. I think episode 5 was fantastic. I think the performance by, I don't know his name, he's Jason from The Good Place. But I think his performance was fantastic. I think this dude knocked it out of the park. He was both menacing and like creepy and kind of funny all at the same time. That is like Palpatine levels of good acting. And he did a great job. Gotta commend him for that. I really enjoyed his character, so no problems there. I think everybody else did a great job. I think some of the characters they killed off did not expect that, but they did, and I like that. I'm still not hooked on the main girl, May and Osha. Uh, I don't. She's a good actress. I can tell there's good, like, she's got some really good scenes, but then there's some other scenes where I'm like, you just, everyone else is hitting me with these emotions, and you're not giving it to me. And I don't think that's her fault. I think it's like the direction of it, and I think that's kind of the writing of it. Now, I'm not hating on the writers. They obviously know how to make good scenes. They did with some of them. I just think they had this idea of making the twins concept, and then they kind of were like, okay, what do we do with this? Like, it's the most. You see this a lot, where a series will create this concept, and there's just the twins thing, and they will get so hung up on this is our concept, and then they'll come up with better ideas, but then they don't want to throw away this idea. Even if this idea is better, they will not throw away this idea. Sometimes, to be a good writer, you have to admit, hey, something I wrote later on is far better than what I started with. And it's okay to admit that sucked and throw it away. And then just take this, and that's your main concept now. Put that into the main primary source and start writing your story on from there. That is what it means to be a good storyteller. To take your story and to evolve it with the story making process, with the process of making a production. Obviously, you have your like main story beats you have to hit. That's fine, but don't limit your series to a concept like the twins that obviously seemed undercooked compared to everything else. So, I don't know. It just, the twin thing has not hit me yet. I think it's like the witches, they just haven't hit me yet. I think the whole, if this is like Knights of Ren origin story, that could be far more entertaining than the witches or the twins or anything like that. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to talk about anything else this week because I really don't have a whole lot that I want to discuss. Like I said, I'm not going to get into politics here, so I'm not going to talk about all the debate nonsense or whatever. But next week we are going to talk about NASCAR for the first time because I'm actually, today, whenever this comes out, I'm actually at Nashville watching the NASCAR race. So I will tell you my thoughts on that next week. So stay tuned for that if you're a NASCAR fan. I know there's quite a few of you out there that are also NASCAR fans, which I find interesting. But anyway, thank you for watching that part of the section. We're going to talk about a few more things before I let you go for today. So real quick, let me go over what will be coming this coming week. On Monday, you will get a video about the canceled Rent a Girlfriend anime figures and altered anime figures that we have gotten from that series. There's a handful of them, so I hope you will check that out. It's a bit of a shorter video, but I hope you find it interesting, and maybe that's a new series we will do for other series. Now, the one on Wednesday, I cannot tell you what it is yet because there is a few different videos I am making, and I don't know which one will be ready first. And then that is considering that we have a Love Live announcement coming today. We have a Demon Slayer episode coming today, and both of them could be big news that I want to talk about on Wednesday. So we're going to wait on that. If neither of them are interesting enough for me to do a video, then we'll do the video I had planned. But if one of them is interesting, we'll do a video on them. So stay tuned for that. And then on Friday, it will be my July collection update. Whatever I got through June. There's a few other things there. You can see a few of them there that I've got to unbox and make shorts of. So we're going to do that throughout this week. And then I will make the July update at the end of this week. So stay tuned for that and you will see all that I got and what videos you will see next month. So stay tuned for that. As for next week's podcast topic, I will be reviewing everything in spring 2024. Now, there is a few that I haven't finished yet, and I don't know if I'll get them finished this week. Hopefully, I will. I think the only one that I might not be able to finish is Mushoku Tensei because I'm really far behind on that one. But everything else I should be able to finish. All that I've got left is Sound Euphonium and the Laid Back Camp. So those two are the main ones that I got to finish. There's like 2 episodes left of the talk radio one that is the Yuri one that I want to be Yuri, but it's not going to be. I gotta finish that one, but those are the only 3 that I got left, so should be pretty easy for me to catch up on all of them, except for Mushoku Tensei. So we're going to talk about everything that I watched next week, and so I hope you will look forward to that. And that will be a pretty long segment, probably. So, probably like this week was about 30 minutes, so next week will probably be like an hour. So, if you're into the longer podcast, next week will be great. If you're into the shorter podcast, this week was great. So, you're getting best of both worlds here. So anyway, that will be about it. Thank you so much for watching another week of the podcast. Like I said, this one is a bit shorter than most, but I don't want to drag them out. I don't want to make a big, long, hour-long podcast. Remember, really only have 30 minutes of stuff to say. That seems better to me. That seems better to you. And just, I think that's overall better for the whole podcast going forward. So let me know what you thought. Do you like this shorter podcast? Do you like longer podcasts? What is the ideal time for a podcast for you? And anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps me out. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.